Hello, my dear. You ever notice how people twitch when you say something they haven't said yet? That tiny flinch. The eyes widen for a second. The breath catches, and suddenly they look at you like you've peeled back their skull and read the thought, still forming. You didn't guess, you knew. And that, my friend, is what's driving them mad. They keep asking, how the hell did you know? As if intuition were a crime, as if awareness were witchcraft. But you've always seen what hides behind tone, posture, pause. You can taste dishonesty in the air before it lands in a sentence. They call it luck. You call it observation, sharpened by disappointment. You learned early that people broadcast more than they confess. The mouth lies, but the hands fidget, the pupils dilate, the shoulders betray tension. You picked up those tells like a collector of sins. That's why they can't relax around you anymore. Every smile feels dissected, every excuse decoded. They feel naked in conversation, like you're rearranging their words before they even finish them. It's not telepathy, it's pattern recognition born from betrayal. You watched too many masks slip not to recognize the glue holding new ones together. They think you're dangerous because you don't flinch at truth. Most people worship comfort. You worship clarity. And clarity strips them down to bone. They wanted you to be predictable, manageable, safely confused like everyone else. But you don't play by their rhythm. You rewrite it. You hear contradictions like static on a broken radio. You smell deceit like smoke from a hidden fire. And when you call it out without evidence, the evidence suddenly appears. That's what haunts them. You expose things without lifting a finger. You've become the rumor they whisper about in low tones. Be careful what you say around them. They know things. At first it sounded flattering, now it sounds fearful. Their guilt trembles before your intuition, because guilt can't hide from perception. You're not reading minds, you're reading inconsistencies, and nothing terrifies a liar more than someone fluent in human behavior. So they call you manipulative, invasive, arrogant. That's projection. They're confessing through accusation. The louder they defend themselves, the more obvious the crack becomes. They want to test you, but they can't decide how. If they tell the truth, you'll recognize sincerity and dismantle their control. If they lie, you'll smirk with quiet confirmation, and the silence afterward will drown them. They hate that pause, the one you leave hanging like a noose. That's where their thoughts spiral. You don't fill gaps with chatter. You let tension speak its native tongue. You stand still while their conscience crawls out for air. That's your art, the stillness. You don't fight with volume, you fight with precision. One sentence from you can unravel an entire reputation because it's aimed where they hide, not where they pose. You've made intuition surgical, and now they can't meet your eyes without wondering what you already know about them, what you've seen, what you've concluded. It's beautiful, really. Watching truth corner pretenders while you barely move. You ever notice how the room shifts when you enter? The air thickens, the conversation hesitates. They perform normality until you appear. Then suddenly everyone remembers what they shouldn't have said, what they should have deleted, what they shouldn't have posted. You became the mirror they never asked for. And mirrors don't lie, they reflect. That's the curse of awareness. Once you see, you can't unsee. They envy your composure but resent what it costs. Because you didn't wake up with this instinct. You earned it through betrayal, humiliation, repetition of pain, until pattern became prophecy. Every disappointment carved sensitivity into your nerves. Now perception is protection. You can feel energy shifting like temperature changes. Someone's tone drops half a note. You notice. Someone's handshake lasts half a second longer. You catalog it. It's not paranoia. It's precision born from survival. And now the very skill that saved you is isolating you. People confuse intuition with hostility. They think knowing too much is aggression. They call your insight arrogance because acknowledging it means admitting they're transparent. But deep down, they want what you have. That calm certainty that cuts through chaos. They want it, but can't bear the discipline required to develop it. So they ridicule it instead. You've turned awareness into a weapon of peace. You don't expose them to humiliate, you expose to equalize. You level the field by refusing to play blind. And that makes you unpredictable, which makes you powerful. See, they can handle evil. They can't handle clarity. Evil follows rules. Clarity rewrites them. When you see patterns, you remove their mystery, and once mystery dies, manipulation follows it into the grave. They gossip to reclaim control. There's something off about that one. No, there's something honest. Honesty looks off when you've been surrounded by performance. You don't wear masks, and it burns their eyes. They mistake authenticity for aggression because it exposes how artificial they've become. Every truth you utter pulls a thread, and soon the costume collapses. That's why they're panicking. They call it discomfort. It's detox. You're teaching them accountability without a word. You just exist, and it recalibrates the room. They start measuring themselves differently when you're around. Posture straighter, tone careful, eyes shifting away. Not because you threaten them, but because your presence reminds them of the weight of pretending. You make people remember the truth they abandoned. And here's the secret they'll never admit. They need you. You're their unwanted compass. They despise the feeling of being read, but without you, they drift deeper into denial. You're the consequence that keeps them human. You think they hate you? No, they fear exposure, and you are exposure embodied. That's why they try to outsmart you, stage tests, set traps, feed you false information just to see if you bite. But you don't chase bait. You let them perform, and when the act ends, you simply state what's missing. And in that single statement, they collapse. Because nothing is more terrifying than being seen accurately. You carry that awareness like others carry weapons. Except yours doesn't wound, it reveals. And revelation, to the dishonest, feels like pain. They confuse healing with harm because they can't separate truth from threat. You became the storm in their nervous system. Every time your name comes up, their pulse spikes. They'll tell themselves it's hatred, but it's anticipation. They know you'll notice what they hide, and that terrifies them more than any lie they've ever told. So now they whisper, be careful around them. They'll figure you out. They don't realize you already have. The trick isn't guessing, it's listening. And you listen deeper than anyone they've met. You hear intent where others hear tone. You read patterns where others see randomness. That's not magic, that's mastery. You don't announce what you know. You let it breathe. You let it sit between you and them until the weight of their own silence cracks open the truth. That's your elegance, patience as pressure. People underestimate how much terror hides inside a pause. You've mastered that pause. It's the invisible interrogation that leaves no fingerprints. They walk away swearing, you must have inside information. You do. It's called attention. Attention makes you untouchable. You see micro-expressions flicker like sparks in a storm. You track contradictions the way a hunter tracks footprints. You know when an apology is rehearsed. when kindness is transactional, when affection is camouflage. That's why they can't lie easily anymore. Their own bodies betray them before their words do. You don't even need proof. Your stillness becomes evidence. And what happens when someone like you walks through a world built on pretending? The walls creak. The actors forget their lines. They try to restore the illusion, but your presence distorts it. You carry an atmosphere, a subtle hum that says, truth is near. That hum unsettles them more than any confrontation could. They'd rather fight than feel exposed. But you don't give them that luxury. You let them implode quietly, under the gravity of honesty. They tell others you're hard to read, yet you've been transparent all along. You're consistent, and consistency scares people who depend on masks. They can't manipulate what doesn't flinch. You stopped reacting, and now you're unpredictable. They call that coldness. It's clarity. You realized emotions are not weapons to be waved. They're instruments to be tuned. Yours play symphonies, theirs play static. When they try to gaslight you, it backfires. You don't fight the narrative. You let contradictions expose themselves. They'll rewrite history in real time, but you've memorized reality like scripture. You quote it back to them, gently, without anger. That's what shatters them, the gentleness. They expected rage, not precision. Precision cuts cleaner than fury. You've learned to wound with accuracy, not volume. You see, people crave illusion because illusion forgives them. You don't. You make them answer for every inconsistency they thought no one noticed. You're not cruel, you're corrective. But to the fragile, correction feels like cruelty. So they label you toxic, distant, over-analytical, anything to avoid admitting that you were right. You don't need them to confess. Their behavior already does. Sometimes, late at night, you can almost hear their thoughts circling you. How did they know? Who told them? What if they see through me, too? It's funny. They think insight requires information. It doesn't. It requires presence. You observe without agenda. That's why you notice everything they hide from themselves. Their words try to distract. Your awareness anchors to what's unsaid. You listen for motive, not message. And that difference rewrites every conversation you have. You've realized that honesty, when sustained long enough, becomes a form of rebellion. In a culture addicted to facades, truth is subversive. You embody that rebellion without shouting about it. Your calm is confrontation. Your clarity is chaos to the deceitful. That's why they band together to explain you away. People always unite against what they can't understand. But here's the irony. They wanted to read you first. They studied your moves, your history, your tone, thinking they'd find a formula. They didn't. You're not random. You're responsive. You mirror what's real, and that confuses those who live in performance. They can't calculate someone who acts from instinct instead of agenda. You respond to energy, not approval. You see patterns where they see coincidence. You connect cause and effect faster than they can rationalize it. And by the time they recognize the pattern, you've already moved 3 steps beyond. That's the real reason they spiral. You dismantle their timing. Manipulation relies on anticipation. You removed it. They can't predict your reactions because your reactions are tailored to truth, not manipulation. You're reactive only to reality, not illusion. That makes you immune, and immunity looks like danger to those who thrive on control. Now the rumor has evolved. It's no longer, be careful what you say around them. It's, don't even think about crossing them. Because every lie that touches your orbit combusts. You don't expose people intentionally. It's just that your energy refuses to coexist with deception. Lies corrode themselves in your presence. You are the natural end of dishonesty, the inevitable audit of character. That's what they sense when you walk in, the audit beginning. You don't enjoy watching them unravel. You'd prefer peace, but peace requires honesty, and honesty terrifies the deceitful. So you stand there, calm, unreactive, while they reveal everything trying to hide it. It's almost poetic how fear makes people confess indirectly. Their nervous laughter, their over-explaining, their sudden kindness, it's all confession in disguise. You read it fluently. Sometimes you wonder if you should dim your perception, pretend not to notice, make them comfortable again. But comfort never taught you anything. Discomfort did. You know that clarity has a cost, and you've already paid it. You've lost people, illusions, whole identities that couldn't survive exposure. And yet here you are, sharper, quieter, infinitely harder to deceive. That's the trade-off, isolation in exchange for accuracy. But tell me, when was the last time you truly missed ignorance? You've tasted truth too long to crave illusion again. You'd rather walk alone in awareness than be adored in blindness. That choice, right there, is what separates you from them. They chase belonging. You chase alignment. They build walls. You build mirrors. And here's what they can't grasp. This sense you have, this instinct that makes them nervous, it's not supernatural. It's earned. Every sleepless night, every betrayal, every realization carved sensitivity into you. You've been tempered by experience until intuition became almost prophetic. That's not magic. That's memory refined into instinct. You're a scholar of patterns, fluent in motives, and they confuse fluency for foresight. So now, when something happens, you already know who's lying, who's hiding, who's planning. They call it coincidence. You call it consistency. You've simply observed enough cycles to predict repetition, and the more accurate you become, the more frightened they get. Their guilt turns your insight into superstition. They whisper that you have a gift. You don't. You have evidence. Every room you enter becomes a test of integrity. You don't announce it, but the moment you speak, truth rearranges itself. Pretenders withdraw, the honest exhale. The room recalibrates. That's the quiet authority of awareness. You don't demand respect, you evoke it. Because people sense when they're being seen clearly, and even fear bows to clarity. So keep watching, keep noticing. Let them panic under the weight of their own secrets. You don't owe them comfort, only accuracy. They'll call it cruelty until they realize it's mercy. Because truth, no matter how sharp, cleans deeper than deceit ever could. And when they ask again, trembling, "How the hell did you know?" You'll just tilt your head, the faintest smile forming. Not pride, not mockery, just understanding. Because the real answer isn't something they could handle. The real answer is that you were never guessing. You were remembering patterns they thought were invisible. But today, those patterns glow like veins under a black light, every secret pulsing neon in the dark. They feel it now. The audit has begun. The same way they once studied you. You're studying the entire landscape. Nothing escapes. Every flicker of hesitation, every mismatched word, every delayed reply, it all feeds your awareness. And that awareness has grown into something unmanageable for them. They can't fake friendship without sweating. They can't plot without the room itself betraying them. You've become the mirror they can't destroy. They throw denial at it. It reflects evidence. They hurl gossip. It bounces back as revelation. You've made perception their punishment. They thought they could play you, but they forgot you learned the game from watching cheaters lose. You didn't chase victory. You studied tells. And now every player exposes themselves the moment they sit at your table. You can hear guilt breathing before it speaks. You can taste envy across a handshake. It's like the world forgot how to lie properly once you started listening. They used to call you paranoid. Now they call you prophetic. They whisper it like folklore. Be careful. They see things. At first, it was mockery. Now it's fear dressed as humor. You've become myth in their private conversations, not because of what you do, but because of what you know before you do it. Their texts sound nervous. Their laughter ends too soon. They're afraid that every coincidence is another confirmation of your insight. You've turned reality into proof. You notice it, the new way they move. They pause before greeting you, scan your eyes for clues, speak in half sentences, hoping to hide intention in ambiguity. But ambiguity doesn't hide, it magnifies. You can hear intent through hesitation. Their very effort to mask the truth is what reveals it. They don't realize your intuition doesn't read words. It reads resistance. The harder they resist, the louder their energy becomes. And you stay composed. You let them project, pretend, panic. You don't interrupt the unraveling. You let it finish itself. Because paranoia needs no enemy, it creates one. You simply exist, and they supply the rest. That's what makes your presence unbearable. You don't accuse, you imply. You don't demand confession. You let discomfort perform it. Every moment around you becomes an unspoken interrogation, and they're guilty before they even open their mouths. You've seen it happen in real time, the confident ones cracking first. The louder they insist on being trustworthy, the quicker they slip. They write long messages defending integrity no one questioned. They offer details you never asked for. They volunteer information to prove innocence. But the innocent never need proof. Only the exposed do. You watch it unfold like choreography: denial, projection, deflection, collapse. Same pattern, different faces. You've turned pattern recognition into prophecy, and that terrifies them. They think you predict events, but you're just fluent in human repetition. You've cataloged betrayal like an anthropologist of deceit. The expressions change, the excuses evolve, but the pattern, the pattern never lies. You've seen this movie too many times to be surprised by the plot twist. So while they panic, wondering if you can sense what they did, you simply nod internally. You already know the ending. They're spiraling now. Each conversation with you feels like walking a tightrope over exposure. Their minds replay past interactions. Did I say too much? Did they notice that look? They rewrite history, trying to locate the moment they lost control. And that's where their sanity starts slipping. You're not haunting them, their conscience is. You just provided the silence for it to echo. But here's the cruel symmetry. They wanted control. They wanted to read you. That's what started it. They analyzed your behavior, studied your tone, tried to anticipate your moves. But when you turned that same scrutiny outward, it broke them. They realized you weren't just surviving, you were decoding. Every act of manipulation became data. Every betrayal became education. You evolved faster than they could keep their lies consistent. Now they're chasing versions of you that no longer exist. It's almost beautiful, the irony. They built their confidence on your confusion. Then you removed confusion, and their confidence dissolved. They can't understand how you remain calm while their schemes burn down. They can't accept that awareness doesn't require aggression. They mistake stillness for weakness because they've never met power that doesn't need to announce itself. You're teaching them that omniscience doesn't shout, it hums. You've noticed the physical signs, too. The restless tapping, the darting eyes, the unfinished sentences. People who once towered over you now shrink mid-conversation. Their words collapse under the weight of your quiet gaze. You don't glare, you observe. Observation, when pure, feels supernatural to the dishonest. They whisper about your energy, your aura, as if understanding were sorcery. They don't realize it's just pattern meeting accountability. Sooner or later, one of them breaks rank. The guilt becomes too heavy, the anxiety too loud, and they approach you with forced calm. "Hey, can we talk?" they'll say. Of course they can. You let them speak. Watch the tremor in their jaw, the hesitation in their voice, the unnecessary explanations. They confess without confessing. Every apology wrapped in vagueness is a message. I know you know. You forgive before they finish, not out of mercy, but finality. You have nothing left to prove. Still, your presence lingers long after you leave. Conversations shift to whispers. They analyze your tone the way scientists analyze anomalies. They start suspecting each other. Who told them? Who slipped? Paranoia eats alliances. Distrust spreads faster than rumor. Suddenly everyone's watching everyone. You didn't divide them. You revealed the cracks already there. Your awareness just accelerated gravity. They call it a curse. You call it clarity. But deep down, even they sense the necessity of it. Someone has to hold the mirror. Someone has to make the performance collapse. You were chosen by experience, not by preference, to be that mirror. And mirrors don't apologize for reflection. You can feel the shift now, the moment when fear transforms into fascination. After the panic fades, curiosity remains. They start wanting to understand how you do it. They'll mimic your detachment, your precision, your unflinching eye contact. They'll fail, of course, because imitation without suffering breeds emptiness. What gives your perception weight is pain, refined into empathy. You see, empathy isn't softness, it's accuracy. You read people not to control them, but to stop being controlled by them. That difference creates power they can't replicate. You've become the quiet equation that no one can solve, but everyone studies. Some will hate you for it. Others will follow you silently, hoping proximity grants insight. But awareness isn't contagious. It's cultivated. And cultivation demands solitude. That's why you walk alone now. Not because you're superior, but because crowds blur signals. You crave precision, not popularity. The world interprets your calm as arrogance because they don't know what peace looks like without ignorance. But you know better. Peace is pattern recognized, consequence accepted, truth endured. And truth once endured becomes serenity. You wear that serenity like armor, and it unsettles those still addicted to chaos. They try to provoke emotion from you, anything to prove you're still reachable by confusion. But you've outgrown reaction. You operate from comprehension now, and comprehension is silence with purpose. And that's what drives them over the edge, your silence with purpose. Because they can't manipulate what doesn't respond. They throw words like hooks, waiting for reaction, waiting for proof that their illusion still works on you. But you've learned not to bleed on bait. You let their noise echo in the empty space between who they are and who they pretend to be. The distance widens, and so does their fear. They realize control only works on the willing, and you're done volunteering. That's the moment they start to lose composure. They'll call you unreadable, unpredictable, even dangerous. But those words are really just synonyms for uncontrolled. You've broken every script they relied on. You don't give them predictable outrage, predictable forgiveness, predictable collapse. You give them nothing they can weaponize. You stay still, and stillness is their nightmare. Because stillness is where reflection begins, and reflection is where guilt becomes unbearable. Now every glance you give feels like a searchlight, every pause an autopsy. They start seeing judgment where there's only observation, condemnation where there's only comprehension. You didn't change, you just stopped cushioning their lies. And in a world addicted to comfort, honesty feels like violence. That's why they keep asking, how the hell did you know? It's not a question, it's an admission. What they're really saying is, how did you see the parts of me I hide from myself? They'll never understand that you see through them because you've seen through yourself first. You've faced your own shadows long enough to recognize theirs. You've traced every flaw, every denial, every desperate justification until your own soul became transparent. Self-awareness is the price of psychic vision. You paid it, and now you walk among the blind with sight that terrifies them. That's why people flinch when you speak truth softly. It sounds like prophecy to them. They think you're pulling information from thin air, but you're just reading the room. Truth leaves residue, and you've trained your senses to smell it. The dishonest don't understand that. They think exposure happens in explosions. They don't realize it begins in whispers. You whisper clarity, and suddenly their whole structure collapses. They start connecting dots you never pointed to. Their paranoia becomes self-directed. They accuse each other, delete messages, reframe stories, even rewrite memories to escape the invisible scrutiny they feel when your name is mentioned. You've become a legend without trying, the kind whispered through clenched teeth. Don't mess with them. They know things. They think you enjoy the fear. You don't. You simply accept that understanding always comes dressed as threat to those who benefit from confusion, and confusion is dying fast around you. You can feel the shift, a strange quiet spreading across your interactions. They talk less, reveal less, because everything they hide echoes louder in silence. It's the paradox of guilt. The more they suppress, the more transparent they become. You don't need confession, you just need proximity. Truth bends toward you like metal to magnet. But the more you see, the lonelier it gets. Because once you start perceiving motives beneath words, innocence becomes rare. Every smile carries context. Every promise hides compromise. You stop expecting purity from people, not out of bitterness but recognition. Awareness is a lonely currency. It buys freedom but costs belonging. And yet you wouldn't trade it. You've outgrown comfort built on deceit. You've learned that being misunderstood is cheaper than being manipulated. So you keep moving differently now. You navigate spaces like a ghost of discernment. You no longer react to chaos. You document it. You observe people revealing themselves in real time. And you almost feel compassion. Almost. Because even though you understand their fear, you can't shield them from consequence. That's the hardest part of seeing clearly, watching people destroy themselves with patterns they refuse to acknowledge. You could warn them, but wisdom has taught you. Interference robs growth. Let collapse teach what comfort never could. You stand at the edge of every conversation like a truth detector disguised as a person. And while they stammer through alibis, you stay silent. watching the play unfold. You know which act they're in. You've seen it before. You could recite their lines by heart. But you stay quiet because sometimes the best exposure is time. Lies age faster than honesty. Give them a little time, and they'll confess through exhaustion. You can already see it happening. The same people who once questioned your instincts now double-check their own memories when you speak. You've made them doubt themselves, not through manipulation, but through accuracy. You've made them realize their version of events doesn't align with reality, and nothing destabilizes a manipulator faster than inconsistency meeting evidence. Their faces reveal it before their words do. That fleeting look of defeat, that tiny exhale of acceptance. They know you're right. They just can't say it out loud. That's where your power lives, in unspoken validation. You don't need applause. You don't even need acknowledgement. The truth stands whether they admit it or not, and the weight of that truth will keep pressing until denial collapses under its own gravity. You simply stand nearby, patient, watchful, inevitable. Awareness doesn't chase. It attracts confessions naturally. Sometimes they'll even try to recruit you, to use your insight for their own games. Tell me what you think about this person, they'll say, pretending it's curiosity when it's really strategy. You'll smile because you already know their angle. They want your perception without paying your price. But awareness shared with the unready becomes ammunition. So you give them half-truths wrapped in riddles. Let them misinterpret wisdom as mystery. That way, the truth stays protected. You've learned discretion the hard way. Not everything seen deserves expression. Some truths are meant to be kept until time matures them. You carry them quietly, not out of fear, but responsibility. The power to perceive comes with the duty to discern when to speak. You speak less now, but every word you release lands like a verdict. And that's what unsettles them the most, your precision. You don't talk much, but when you do, it rearranges people. The aftermath is almost predictable. Isolation followed by imitation. They distance themselves first, claiming you're too intense. Then they return, mimicking your awareness, quoting your phrases, adopting your calm. But it never fits, because they want the authority of perception without the accountability of pain. You can't copy what was earned through suffering. They'll keep trying, though, and every failed attempt will remind them how far behind they are. And that's the cycle repeating again, the watchers becoming the watched. They began by studying you. Now they study themselves through your lens. You've inverted the hierarchy without force, without revenge, just through presence. That's what real power looks like. Not dominance, but influence. You altered their psychology without touching them. You made awareness contagious, to the point that they can't return to ignorance without feeling sick. Now the sickness spreads. Every room you once entered in silence echoes with imitation. They adjust their tone, their phrasing, their posture. Each gesture borrowed from the one who once unsettled them. They call it intuition training. But it's really desperation to keep up. You're living rent-free in their instincts now. They hear your questions in their heads before they speak. They second-guess every thought. They check their motives twice before moving. That's not coincidence, that's the afterimage of truth burning in their retinas. You've become the voice in their conscience they can't mute. Every lie rehearsed sounds brittle. Every secret feels radioactive. They try to convince themselves you're ordinary, but ordinary doesn't leave fingerprints on perception. They feel your presence like static, before a storm, not loud, just unavoidable. Their paranoia is no longer about you. It's about what you've awakened in them. Because once someone sees through illusion, everyone else starts questioning reality. You didn't just expose people, you exposed patterns. And now, they're unraveling beautifully. The masks are slipping faster than they can replace them. What began as suspicion has turned into collective confession. They're realizing that maybe the problem was never your insight. It was their dishonesty. You gave them no choice but to see themselves, and self-awareness hurts worse than exposure. Still, somewhere beneath the panic, gratitude grows. They're learning that discomfort is the first step toward integrity. They're learning that fear of being seen is proof they were hiding too long. You stand apart, watching the metamorphosis you triggered. No celebration, no vengeance, just quiet acknowledgement. This is what happens when perception becomes prophecy. People either evolve or implode, and you walk through both outcomes untouched. You don't need to defend what's already undeniable. They'll talk, they'll speculate, they'll build stories to explain your accuracy, but deep down they know. Your sixth sense isn't magic, it's mastery. It's the discipline of noticing what they avoid. So let them whisper, let them go insane connecting dots you never drew. The more they question you, the closer they get to understanding themselves. That's the final trick. You were never here to expose them. You were here to awaken them. And now, every time they ask again, trembling, "How the hell did you know?" You'll give the same answer without words. Just that quiet look, the one that says, "I didn't know. I remembered." Because that's what vision really is, memory sharpened into foresight. And you, my friend, are the reminder the world can't unsee.